Since we already can distinguish between the different variables, like what are the strings and what is the difference between the string, what kind of operations we are able to do on the strings, so we have the basic understanding of all of that, we can go now to the topic of the lists, because strings as it is, as without making the set of the strings, are useless in the field of the data science, because data science, data analysis, we're talking about these topics when we have the several kind of a several number of the observations. So we have the data set, we have the historical observations of different kind of a in the different kind of a characters, like it can be sales, it can be the weather forecast, it can be the stock market forecast, and so on. So it's important now to grasp the um, the 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 topic of the lists, and now how to do the operations on the lists. So let's go and see what so here we are on the practical part of the lists. So as we told, the lists without being in the set, it's almost useless in the data science, because most of the problems in data science requires you to work with the set of the data. So you never work with one data, you never work with one element. So that's why it's important to now grasp attentively the concept of the list. So imagine one day you become rich, and you're gonna have a lot of cars in your garage, and let's let's count some of the cars in your garage. So these are your cars, right? So you got one BMW in your garage. Let's imagine that you got one BMW in the garage. Let's imagine you have one Ferrari in your garage. Let's imagine you have one Tesla, and imagine you have one. No, it's enough for now. So this is a list. A list is identified by the quadratic brackets, and if you're gonna check the type of this, it's gonna say it is the list. So let's confirm that it's the list. As you see, it's gonna say it's list. So I want to get one element out of this. For example, in order to get the Ferrari, what we gonna do? You might say, all right, this is the second car in my garage, so let's take the second value. Let's take it, no problem. Let's take the second value. But do we have Ferrari now? No. Why? What went wrong? Because in Python, the calculation, the counting starts from 0, not from 1. So that's why the first value BMW has the index 0, while the second value Ferrari has an index 1. You don't have to memorize any formula. It's just the simple rule, and by the practice, when you're working more, you're gonna remember this, always to apply this, right? Then how can we modify the element within the list? There are several ways. The first way, I'm gonna teach you the way. For example, I want change here. I wanna have here the, instead of Ferrari, let's have the Lamborghini. So we're gonna say cars one, it's a Ferrari. I want this to be Lamborghini. I don't know whether we wrote correctly or not. Just comment on the comments whether it's wrong. I don't want to make error on that important car. So let's check now whether we have Lamborghini. Yeah, we now have Lamborghini in our car, our garage. That's cool. So how to you become even more richer until you decide to buy one more car. So because our German friend BMW was so alone, lonely, so he wanted a friend. So we got Mercedes. So in order to add the Mercedes in your list, what you're gonna do? We can use several approaches. One is append. Append is when you're appending to the end of the list. Append to the end of the list a new value. So Mercedes, you're gonna add the Mercedes. So I wrote everything in the, not in the capital letters, so I'm gonna preserve the same same standard, not to discriminate anything. Here, cars, we got Mercedes added to our list. But what if I want to add to on the beginning of the list? For example, I want to add one more car. Let's say Alfa Romeo cars. In this case, we're gonna use insert. So what we're gonna do, cars insert dot insert, and then we're gonna indicate the where we would love to insert and what we want to insert. Alfa Romeo. We are inserted for the first value, Alfa Romeo. Cars, Alfa Romeo, BMW, and so on and so forth. How to remove the elements? Here also we have some different techniques to remove it. So I would love to remove BMW. Let's say, doesn't matter like which one we'd love to remove. So we write the name del. Sorry, not the case. So first it's different a little bit. Like the syntax is different. So first you write del, stands for delete. Then you write the cars. Then you indicate the index. Now we got the new print cars. Now we're gonna have, we don't have any more BMW, right? We could also use pop. Pop takes your last value, and so cars dot pop. And you're gonna have the last value here. It's gonna return you the last value, and we don't have any more Mercedes in the garage. So you can also save as a variable one car, one element. It's gonna be cars.pop. In this case, one car is gonna be let's write print. And what is the puppet car? And plus, then we are gonna add car. Do you remember, in order to do this operation, you need to have on the both sides string variables. So we have popped the Tesla. So then we can also indicate the values. I won't get the value out of there and indicate the name exactly. For example, Tesla. I don't have any more Tesla. Lamborghini. Let's say, right. Cars dot, and in this case we are gonna use remove. I want to remove Lamborghini. And let's check the final result. Let's print the cars now. And it's gonna be only one car remaining, the Alfa Romeo. In the list, you would be required to work with the numbers mostly. So now 100% of focus numbers. Let's write the random numbers 5 to 11, 23. This is going to be again the list for Python. Doesn't matter what you have there within the list, numbers, people, cars, whatever is it. This is a list for the Python, so it doesn't make distinction. You can sort it. If it's numerical, it makes sense to sort it. So you just write the numbers and then write sort. And now if you want to check it, print numbers, you're gonna have all the numbers sorted from the smallest value to the largest value, right? Then you can also find the length of your list. It's four, yeah, we got 4 elements in the list. Then when it comes to calculating, doing the calculations, the mean is when you're trying to find the, it's central point theory, right? The mean is when you are searching for the value which stands in the middle of the, like numerically in the middle, right? So what we're gonna do in this case, we are gonna write only one line of code instead of calculating the sum, instead of calculating the length and doing the division, the sum of the lengths. We're gonna just import numpy. Numpy stands for numerical Python as np. So this dependency, this package is useful when you're gonna work with the numbers. So, and then we are gonna say np mean, and within mean we are getting the numbers. It should be calculated now, 10.25. And if you do like 718 plus 23 divided to 4, it's gonna make 10.25. But sometimes you're required to find the 50%, like central point, median. In this case, you're gonna use the different. It's NP is referring to the numpy, right? Again, we're gonna use the NP numpy, and what we're gonna do here. Again, we're gonna insert the input or as input the list. So, and when we have 8 as the 50% in the central point of our